Hello and welcome to another edition of National Focus. I'm Pearl Fontaine. Coming up, the Black Sigatoka now spread to other parts of the island. Agriculture officials tell of efforts to contain the disease. The Adult Education Division exhibits work of its participants of its summer activities, and technical and vocational skills will be a major focus of education officials in the school year. Stay with us for details of these stories and others after the break.
Hey, I had a good time in town last week with a pretty girl, man.
Hey, carry me next time when you're going now.
Where we get paid Friday, we gonna go.
Careful, you might catch AIDS.
AIDS? Them girl pretty. Them girl can't get AIDS,
I
man.
think it's only ugly women have AIDS. Anybody could get it. If you get sick, what you can tell your wife?
Hey, your wife, come in.
Hey, change the topic. Change the topic.
Your family depends on you. Don't take home AIDS.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes, to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
The facts as they are, brought to you every day. Only on GIS Channel 7.
Welcome back. Agriculture experts have revealed that the deadly Black Sigatoka disease has spread to even more areas around the island. At a press conference held early Friday morning, acting head of the plant quarantine department of the Forestry Division, Joseph Blanford, announced that the Division of Agriculture is finding it necessary to sound a more urgent call to stakeholders to help contain the disease.
We have over the past couple of weeks continued to do what is necessary from the ministry and to deal with that particular challenge. But I must say, we are at a juncture whereby we need to solicit greater cooperation from all stakeholders. And when I say all stakeholders, not only just the farmers and the ministry staff and the extension personnel, but more so the hucksters, those who traffic in terms of movement of the produce, because they play a significant role in also contributing to the further spread of that particular disease.
The agriculture official cautioned the public that mismanagement of the Black Sigatoka disease can result in exportation problems.
Even the neighboring countries, if something is not being done and put in place to ensure once one neighboring island receives any trash material coming over with a bunch of planting, you know what that means for us. All they're going to do is stop importation of plantains coming out of Dominica. And once that is so, then it's a different ball game as it relates to the export of plantain as an agricultural crop.
Carol Abraham is coordinator of the Sigatoka management efforts. She told the public that affected plantain and banana plants are being observed in even more areas.
It has moved well down into Concord along the main road. We see it in a few parts of Marigot, a few parts in the heights of Wesley. We've seen it there. Along the main road in Bence. And notice I'm saying along the main road, and there are reasons why it's usually in those first areas you see it first. I saw it last week in a place called Ross Castle, which is at the back of Picard. You just go up. A man's entire plantain field was down with it. Well, in the central region, it was always there. We saw it in Fokani, in one person's yard. We explained how to de-leaf and so on. But needless to say, it's there, so it means it's in other places in the area. Emzol, we've seen it in a plantain field. I've seen it in my backyard in Goodwill, believe it or not. I've seen it along the road in Bath Estate. Some people's not taking care of the things. You see them hanging over the walls, and there's Sigatoka there. So basically, it has spread.
Abraham says that recent droughts had temporarily arrested the rate of infection and the spread of the disease.
It attacks the leaves of the banana and plantain crops. The first signs are usually seen on the undersurface of the leaf, underneath the leaf. So what we are accustomed to see on top of the leaf, that is usually yellow sigatoka, not as aggressive as black. The reddish streaks, it then gets bigger and bigger, then eventually the fungus will move through the leaf. Now a banana leaf is very thin. It will move through the leaf and eventually it surfaces on top. By that time, we're at about stage 4 of the disease. And at that stage, the leaf should no longer be on the tree. Okay? Now, you will remember that we experienced 2 periods of drought last year. We started working on this program like July. And between September and October, somewhere there, we had a severe drought. This curtailed the disease. So the disease was first seen in the south, that's Grand Bay area, Soufriere, going up the southeast. That was the first areas where it was seen, and some parts of central. And all the time we experienced that drought period, the disease remained in those areas. It didn't spread. The reason for that is that the fungus requires damp, humid conditions to spread or to start to germinate. So between the time that you first see those streaks under the leaf, the fungus has to work its way through the leaf. If it doesn't have the right conditions, as the damp and the humidity, it won't germinate, it'll just die.
The head of the management team says the spread of the disease was anticipated by the division and measures implemented to continue the fight. The number one method being encouraged is deleafing.
Deleaf simply means removing the diseased leaves. Usually, if you haven't really attended to your leaf and you go and you look, about the 3 lower most leaves would be infected. You take that off, you turn them upside down. The reason for turning them upside down is that the fungus by that time is on the upper surface. So if you turn it upside down, when they are ejected from the leaf, they will just go into the ground. If you leave them up and they are released, then the wind can take them somewhere else.
Deleafers are advised to leave at least 6 unaffected leaves by the end of the process to ensure a healthy plant. Other methods being promoted are desuckering, composting, and weeding. Farmers are asked to use chemical regimes as a last resort and then rotate these chemicals, since the fungal infection can become immune to fungicides. The number one strategy for managing the black sigatoka is to prevent the spread of contaminated materials at all cost.
People have to understand that the dead leaves still have the fungus. The fungal spores are still there. Now, if you pack up a set of dried plantain leaves at the back of your van and you're driving through an area, as you're driving, the wind is just spinning those spores, releasing spores. And then that is why we tend to see the first set of trees that show up with the disease are the ones along the roadside. So they are like indicator plants. And you say, the thing is in this area. That's how it was in Concord. Then after some investigation, we realized that a farmer, he admitted, he had been taking stuff from one farm to the next, and then he just dumped all the trash somewhere on the Concord roadside. And in no time at all the farms along the road were showing signs of sigatoka. We looked closer and we could see like the first 3 rows closest to the road, they had the sigatoka, the plants further in didn't have it. And that is where man is a big culprit in spreading this disease.
Farmers and other stakeholders are asked, above all, not to be complacent in the fight against the black sigatoka disease. Look out for more of that story in Monday's newscast. With the new school year steadily approaching, the newly constructed Dominica State College is ready to open its doors. What is promising about this year is the number of students wishing to further their education at the tertiary institution. According to the president of the Dominica State College, Dr. Donald Peters, the admissions this year are overwhelming. With over 800 admissions already, students to date are still registering for the new academic year.
We're still accepting, so we had 800 plus going, and so out of that we'll probably select 770 or thereabouts. So it will be the biggest freshman class we've had for a long, long time, probably in the history of the school. So, so that is exciting.
As quality education continues to be a focal point for the government of Dominica, Dr. Peters highlighted the multifarious classes that will be offered to students and adults wishing to further their studies.
We have introduced a number of courses that will attract the adult learners. One of the things a national college must always do is to provide continuous learning education for the citizens. And so we've introduced a course in paralegal studies. It's an associate degree course, and one in law enforcement. So people who choose to want to work in attorneys' offices can do this course, and they can go on to be attorneys if they want to, because they will have the background. Go to law school, that is. The same thing with law enforcement. We believe we have a good police force in the country. But it's always important to be educated, to have the same education and knowledge that the students or the citizens have. So we'll be offering that primarily to the police, national police officers, but it will be open to the public also. And one in pharmacy technology, which we will be starting this semester.
The college also goes online in 2015 to offer bachelor's degrees in selected areas. The DSC is also concentrating on preparing students for the world of work once the old structure has been expanded.
New buildings for technical, vocational, and agricultural program, which is very important to us, as I understand the Prime Minister was talking this morning about creating employment. One of the things State College has not done is to prepare students for work. And we've concentrated only on liberal arts. The development of new facilities with new equipment will certainly encourage students to get into areas where they can make money in the technical, vocational, agribusiness, building construction, hotel administration, culinary arts, textile production. All those things will be on hand when the new buildings are completed. And so that's exciting.
The DSC president believes that creating an environment conducive to learning is one that will enable students a smooth transition to higher education.
We want to create an experience with students at this campus and in this college that is similar to any college anywhere in the world. So when they transfer, there's no gap. They just they understand clearly all of the factors and the systems that will meet in any other university is present on campus. And we already are there. As you notice, there are no students here today because they can register online. We bring them in there, which is what every student does. So we're excited about that. We have good faculty. I teach myself. I'm a PhD, so we want to bring the quality of the faculty up. The Board of Governors have determined that every person teaching at the college must hold a master's degree in the field in which they're teaching. So we are putting this in place, and certainly the quality of the education can only improve.
Students will be able to enjoy a Wi-Fi free environment, which will make studying on campus grounds much easier. They will also have the convenience of bringing their own personal laptops to school. And Dr. Peters tells us what else students can expect this new academic year.
The first thing they can expect is a lot more space. The classrooms are larger. We have some smart classrooms which can incorporate media education using technology to teach the classes. Better facilities, more study space, larger computer labs, and something that's very dear to me, places that students can just congregate and discuss, because that's part of higher education outcomes.
Additionally, plans are ongoing for a new food court so students can have the complete experience of college life here on the island. In an effort to improve student experience, night classes will also be offered for those who are unable to complete their courses during the normal school hours. Impressive work was laid out by participants of the summer program of the Adults Education Division of the Ministry of Community Development. On Friday, participants displayed their knowledge in various new skills on the ground floor of the government headquarters. Honorable Gloria Shillingford is Minister for Social Services and is very impressed with the work exhibited by participants.
We are very proud to display what our adults have done, and even some young persons. As a matter of fact, I saw the display this morning, one little boy came about and his mother was proud, but he too was saying, I can do that. So not only are the adults learning, they are also teaching the young ones as they learn. But I just want to say that I am very, very proud of what I see here this morning. It has met my expectations and even gone beyond that, because we see the type, the quality of display that we have here this morning in all the various areas, cake decorating, the bedroom decorations, decor, we have plumbing, and all the others that have been displayed here this morning. And I am very, very happy to see what has been done.
She thanks education officers, saying adults should not allow busy schedules to deter them from gaining new skills which may become income earners. The aim of the summer classes, after all, is to teach skills that will become income generators.
Actually, it is learning to help with job creation, and which brings about success, self-esteem, and we are happy for that.
Exhibits in sewing, floral arrangement, plumbing, culinary arts, and interior decorating were displayed. Adassa Lockhart is an adult education officer in the Eastern District. She says the interest of participants in her community was phenomenal and expects that out of these classes, women in her community will group together and form a sewing business, which is well needed in that district.
It was very well done. The participants were enthusiastic. They participated because they're the ones who put most of the material and the money into it. So they gave it their all. They did very well, and I must say I'm proud. Today they can have their products on display to show people what they have done and what they've learned. In the sewing class in Carib Reserve, we have realized that in that area of Carib Reserve, Sineku, Mau River, Gullet River, they have very, very few, actually no real seamstress. Nobody offers that service. There are only 2 professional seamstresses, and they're both in Bataka. So we're trying to encourage the participants who took part there, at least 3 of them who have really excelled, and they own their own sewing machines already. We are trying to get them to band together, and we're hoping that we can take them to the cooperative division or small business unit to help assist them into acquiring the funds necessary to start up their own small business. So then that service, which is not available in those communities, can now be available. So this is what we hope to accomplish for our programs.
GIS spoke to one participant from the Wesley community who stood out because she completed her course in plumbing. Anita Luce says she wanted to do plumbing to learn how to handle small mishaps at home and for her neighbors. She says not only can this become a means of generating income, but one can also save money by learning to do skills they would otherwise pay for.
It's something good to learn. You learn plumbing, you help your home. You help saving yourself from a lot of expense. Because minor things that you could do for yourself, instead of calling somebody else to do it for you, you could handle it. Honestly, you will get far with it.
Interestingly, in her district, out of 18 participants in this course, only 3 were males. The far-reaching benefits of diverse courses offered cannot be overstated. One participant from Silver Lake, a community she says, which usually has a negative connotation, is very grateful.
I just want to thank the minister so much, Gloria Shillingford, along with Mrs. Thomas, who always looks out for us. Coming to the community, get us together. You know, seeing that Silver Lake is a place that a lot of people may think negative about, but at least it have a few of us that come together to bring out the positive, that people can know that we have good things coming out from the community.
The exhibition culminates the summer activities of the Adult Education Division and signifies the beginning of Adult Education Month. And that's the English segment of the news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non, moi, c'est McPherson St. Louis. Premièrement, Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt, qui a fait parole que le gouvernement Dominique continue de travailler en l'intérêt dominicain. C'est le Premier ministre Skerritt, pendant la globalisation qui a affecté l'Atela à présent, le gouvernement Dominique a travaillé très well, soulagé et puis continuer à mener le développement Dominique. Et les Dominicains connaissent que le gouvernement a continué à considérer des bagailles qui mérité pour la vie. Un bagaille Premier ministre Skerritt indiqué bien clair, c'est le ministère du gouvernement Dominique pour travailler bien well pour assister le pays là. En la nouvelle, messieurs, mesdames, département quarantine, ministre agriculture, ka fait parole comment yo bien concerné mauvais maladie black sigatoka qui si met tout pays là ka bien affecté dawi agriculture. Information ça là sorti pendant conférence média ministre agriculture jodien. Monsieur Joseph Blankford, c'est mon là qui a tient position comme chef département quarantine ministre agriculture.
Black sigatoka commencé à spread à d'autres places à Dominique. À place nous pas de ka voyo avant place ko Fokani, bon Mzol, Warner, toutes ces places là ont commencé à voir signs et symptômes de black sigatoka. Et ça a concerne nous parce que nous voulons contrôler place où là qui panne black sigatoka pour prévenir black sigatoka à ce place là parce que si nous pas faire rien il peut affecter la production pour ces plateaux et les si ailleurs pas fait depuis ces femmes ça passe à 20 produits si yo pas contrôle black sigatoka sur plantation yo et nous aussi ka voir moun ka continue pour peuple qui contaminé des symptômes black sigatoka avec a platé yo et hox qui ka grailler planter et banane ka chayer trash là yo ka grailler so you can gaye god marigot c'est place là qui Wesley qui ni black sigatoka et you ka descendre dik bo vekaze place et les pani et tout partout yo passer c'est suppose là ka voler à souva et toutes ces places là venir ka taper black sigatoka et ça c'est un challenge ba nous parce que il y a pas low resources pour contrôle black sigatoka Dominique et si nous pas contrôler place ko Atig Monstrat, Saint-Martin, parce que Saint-Kitts, c'est place ça. Si vous connaissez, nous, les Black Sigatoka, nous ne pouvons pas faire un effort pour contrôler, nous pouvons taper banane sur la place et puis matériel qui contamine les Black Sigatoka. Ça, pêcher, nous mener banane planté sur la place là. Et bien, ça c'est un gros problème pour nous.
La nouvelle président State College Dominic, Dr. Donald Peters, qui a fait parole que State College Dominic bien paré pour ouvrir la porte en septembre pour l'année académique 9. C'est le Dr. Peters, ça qui est bien significant, c'est quantité d'étudiants qui sont intéressants avancer l'éducation à eux en institution salaire. Et ils ont déjà enregistré plus de 800 étudiants et puis d'autres castilles enregistrés. Dr. Peters dit l'année académique salaire que le collège là offre divers subjets pour étudiants aussi d'autres grands monde qui sont intéressants à avancer l'éducation ailleurs. State College Dominic en l'année 2015 qui aussi offert degré online, c'est le Dr. Peters. Dr. Peters fait parole qui bâtiment neuf State College Dominic qui tient opération et puis on meilleur environ. Finalement, messieurs, mesdames, Rotary Club Dominic a fait parole comment équipement yo fait présentation pour le ministre de la Santé Semaine Salam qui assiste et puis traitement monde qui a souffert et puis diabète. Mademoiselle Marvelyn Birmingham, c'est officier Rotary Club Dominic.
Nous avons ready Ministry of Health garder compte pied monde qui a diabète. Eh bien, nous commençons à mener un projet pour montrer c'est notre docteur Dominic comment pour ménager monde qui a diabète et puis pied yo plus parce que vous savez les monde diabète vous ka taper ça yo qui ont diabète foot et puis et ça c'est mon ça perdre pied yo parce que you know you need pour tirer pied comme ça c'est instrument ça là nous pour tirer bas Ministry of Health que wede c'est notre docteur là garder pied mon plus meilleur.
Messieurs mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nous faire le créole pour à présent. Non moins c'est McPherson Luce. Ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Next is a tip of the day.
Do you have uncovered water storage drums around your home? Do you dispose of old tires, cans, and old containers capable of holding water anywhere in your environment? Are you being bitten by mosquitoes, particularly at dusk and early morning? Do you keep houseplants in water? Do you spend your hard-earned cash to control mosquitoes? Has your community experienced dengue fever outbreaks? If your answer is yes to at least 3 questions above, you are at risk to dengue fever. Join the fight against dengue fever. The responsibility for a dengue-free Dominica lies with you. So, get rid of the Aedes aegypti mosquito.
Our tip today has to do with improving your self-confidence. One effective way to do that is to change your environment to match the person you want to become. If you want to become more confident, read autobiographies or watch documentaries of confident people. Change your music from depressing songs to confident and positive ones. And try to find confident people to spend time with. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm, or you can visit our website at news.gov.dm. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Fontaine. Thank you for watching.